Hey, it's Jason from the Tool Scrounge channel, and today, real quick, today I'm doing a different video where I'm comparing some of the more common rust soaks that are available to people out there. Different companies: R4, PB Blaster, Evaporust, Rust 911, and Pour 15. Some of these I purchased out of pocket. Other ones were floated to me for free because the companies are interested in how they perform against one another. And earlier, and I'll show some footage of this, earlier I started putting like tools that I thought were similar in rust and composition in them. And I was doing 2-hour increments to see how far they progressed. Turns out one of the soaks I mistook as being something that needed to be diluted, so it wasn't diluted, and it made it so it wasn't fair. So anyway, I pulled all the tools out because there are just too many variables there. And I dumped the diluted product and reintroduced that to the fold again. So this time I'm taking, and this was just a couple hours ago, so it's really not that big of a deal. I wasn't too far along. But this time what I did was I took I used to make like lawn decorations and stuff that I would sell at farmers markets. I had a few left over. They're all made out of the exact same materials. It's just mild steel. They've been sitting outside for about 15 years, maybe even a little bit longer. So they all have the same amount of rust. They're all from the same batches. And I figured if the thought process here was like to kind of establish a baseline. After this video, I will test the longevity and keep records and stuff of that. So this is just the first in a series of comparing these. I did reach out to a few other companies. They never got back to me. A couple of the companies on here never got back to me. One of them I never asked, which is the PB Blaster, because I found it at the home improvement store. I didn't know they carried it there. It was a surprise. So just on a whim, I thought I'd grab it and throw it in. But anyway, so now what I'm going to do is just take this mild steel that's got the same levels of rust on it as one another and put them in, and then restart the process again of seeing how long it takes at the full potency or recommended potency on the package. So the only one of these that's as diluted as recommended on the package is the Rust 911. It comes in a 16-ounce bottle. I think it's 16 ounce. I'll double check that. And you put half of it in a container, and then to make a gallon, so with this one, I took a 1 gallon diluted bottle of distilled water, measured out 8 ounces, dumped it in the bottle, and then topped it off with the diluted water that I had taken out to make a gallon. Like I didn't want to add the 8 ounces to a full gallon because it would, maybe dilute it even just by a couple ounces. So everything being equal at this point, as far as recommended dilutions, these are all fresh bottles that I opened a few hours ago. They did have a couple of tools soaking in each one, but, I don't think that really affects anything. If, I don't know. This isn't really that scientific. There's no way to really measure out the rust in any of this stuff. I guess I can weigh things and then weigh them after they've been cleaned. But that's not really what I'm after right now. Like, I want to figure out really sort of what the dollar amount of labor each one of these products does. So, for instance, if I pay $30 for a gallon of rust soak, then I wanted to do $30 worth of labor for me, at least, if not more. That would be fantastic. A lot of us are just doing this as a side hustle or a small business or a hobby. And, how much crap do we have to take and deal with at our day jobs, like to earn $30? Not a lot of people I know even make that much in an hour. And so it's just like a work ratio, can this do that dollar amount worth of labor that you don't then have to do, like spend at a wire wheel or to get the desired effects that you want, any of that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to pause this, flip the camera around, and then I'll show you exactly what it is that I'm doing. Okay. So I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm back, and these are the products that I am comparing with one another. Bucket number 1 is R4 out of Texas. Bucket number 2 is PB Blaster. Bucket number 3 is Evaporust. Bucket number 4 is Rust 911. That's the concentrated one I was talking about earlier that I diluted according to the directions. And then the one on the right is Pour 15. They're all reportedly to be safe, non-toxic. They're sort of competing with each other at this point. And so I want to see which one works the best. I'll go over the prices at the end of the video once these are done. I'm going to drop these pieces of metal in there. They're not going to fit completely, but I'll do the best that I can to get them in there as far as they will go. But I actually like the idea of them being partially submerged so we can just sort of compare the effectiveness of each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and then we'll come back in a couple hours. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, bucket 4, and bucket 5. All right, so it is, I don't know what time it is. I'll look as soon as I turn this off. And we'll come back in a couple hours and see where each of these is at. Okay. Okay. It's been 2 hours, and I am checking up on the rusty stuff. So here we have Pour 15 rust remover. It's loosened a little bit. It's getting there. Rust 911, it's about the same. Let's see, Evaporust looks like it's moving through it rather quickly. The PB Blaster, some nominal results, but it's moving through it. And then R4, which I don't know if you can tell, it hasn't fallen away yet, but it's definitely turning into some slime and coming off. So let's do this to the other ones too.
so far so good. It's a little early to make any predictions. Let's see. Rust 911 and pour 15. All right, so there you have it. Check back in a couple more hours. We'll look at the progress then. All right, so here we are at the 4-hour mark. Let's see where things are at. Gonna set these up, I guess, where you can see them. So this is all the different stages here. You can see where the rust was at before. And this is a 4-hour check-in. So let's take a look here. This is the pour 15 before and after. Looks like we got it all. Get a towel here. A little light brushing. Looks like it's back down to the bare metal. It's turned black. Some of the rust. But a quick wire wheeling, and assuming that would come all off of there. So I'll just leave it. And here's the Rust 911. Not a lot of difference, still some rust caked on there. Pretty good. It's noticeably lighter, but that's the pour 15 and Rust 911. Next we have the Evaporust, and doing its usual green slime. Let's see. Pretty good. Not as clean as pour 15. Quite a bit more reduction than the Rust 911. Then we got PB Blaster Bucket 2. Just a toothbrush. changed color. I don't know. Just kind of seemed to change color more than anything else. The Rust 911, if you look at them, Rust 911's a little bit browner, but I don't know. This one's darker than that one, but not as brown either. So I don't know. Anyway, and then we have R4. I'm sort of wiping more rust on there with that towel. Get a different one. Let's see. Same thing there. So here, I'm gonna put this in the camera holder here. All right. So that one is the R4, and it is more similar to the Pour 15. The Pour 15 is leaving a lot of this black stuff left, whereas the R4 is not. A few specks here and there, some color change, but it's definitely noticeably smoother. So in the 4-hour soak, I would think it's quite apparent that the winner is the R4, and the second place would be Pour 15, third being Evaporust. Let's try that out a little bit. The Evaporust is more similar, I think, to as far as texture and how much it removed to the Pour 15. And then if I had to guess, the PB Blaster would be, what was that, fourth? And Rust 911 being last. So, however, I'm going to put these back in. Oh. Sorry, dropped my phone. I'm going to put these back in a little bit and till the morning, basically, see if they finish off, see if we can get them any cleaner. And I should remind everyone that the Rust 911 is a concentrate. So maybe in the morning I will dump the rest of that concentrate in there and see if that has any effect. I'm sure it'll have some, but I went by the directions on the bottles, and this is where we are. So yeah, I'll check in again in the morning, and then that'll probably be about 6-8 hours from now, and And then again, we'll probably do a full 24 hours through them. So we'll check again in the evening tomorrow. And then I can talk to you about it a little bit and we'll see, come up with something as far as results go. God, I'm really tired. All right. See you after the edit. Well, good morning. So where I left off last night was there were some clear speed winners, but I wanted to leave these to soak for the rest of the night just to kind of get the ideal sort of baseline results, you know. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is kind of dry these off, and then we'll go over the prices a little bit and the effectiveness of at least an overnight soak. I don't think I'm going to do a 24-hour soak at this point. We kind of get the gist of what's going on with the results of what I'm doing here. So first off, I'll discuss the prices and stuff too. I don't know. Did I just say that? Anyway, first off, I'm going to go with the, what is this, Pour 15. I'll use a paint pen here. And the Pour 15 for a gallon is $34. And here's the results. You can kind of see it's a very clean metal. Last night, I believe there was some like texture to this. It felt like the rust, but it was just darkened. And sorry, that's backwards. I'll flip it around in the edit. So anyway, that's, you know, those are some pretty good results. It's very smooth. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have the same texture as the rust did last night. Second up, we have Rust 911 rust remover. This is the one that's the concentrate. Oh, it smells. And so let's see. The equivalent, it's sold in, I think I went over this before, 16-ounce bottles. It is a concentrate. I mixed it to half of it to get up to a gallon with distilled water. And that was $35. Here are the results. Still got a bit of the same texture as the rusty side. But you know, all in all, it did well. And for, you know, what was it, overnight soak, did not perform spectacularly with the 2 and 4 hour. But if you're anything like me, I tend to throw the stuff in the soak and leave it. So it seems like it's the most cost effective. Let's base this on a gallon size. So basically the equivalent of what would make a gallon is, what is that? $17.50 a gallon. So that's not bad. If you have more time, you know, and don't really mind that, then, you know, it's certainly an option. Next up, we have the Evaporust, which, you know, is kind of the standard at this point. I don't know if you'd call it that, but
It's certainly the most popular one. They're owned by CRC now. I don't remember when they were purchased, but I've been using it for a few years. But I will say that it's mostly like brand exposure. I think they're probably pretty good at that. They were definitely good at that by sponsoring some of the bigger YouTube channels. See, who were they sponsoring? Jimmy DeResta, Eric from Hand Tool Rescue, I think was the first one that I ever found out about them, and A-Bomb. So let's see. Evaporust, roughly $30 a gallon. You can see the results here. They're fine, perfectly respectable. Their product used to be less expensive, and it's gone with a price increase. I don't know, like everything. I mean, really, like. And so anyway, next is the PB Blaster. Someone told me, I don't know, remember who it was, that this is a repackaged, that they don't make this. Somebody else makes it. It's otherwise known as it's another brand. Kind of an OEM situation, I guess. But this I found at the big box orange home improvement store and bought it as on a whim. So, and it was, we'll just say $30. I think it was $28, $29. And you can see the results here. Pretty typical. I'll lay all of these out and for like a final glamour shot or whatever. And then finally we have R4. I've seen some really impressive uses of this stuff. I think they're the newest contender on the block. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they're starting to make some inroads on social media and stuff. Another tool restoration guy was showing some video of him using it in a spray bottle, having pretty quick results. This, I think I've established anyway, that this is by far the quickest and most efficient. I think if you're looking for a balance, that this is going to be the major contender, is the R4. And that was, for a gallon, is a little more expensive, was $50. But as you can see, they are closest, I think, to in performance to the Pour 15. So there's the R4. There's the Pour 15. There's a bit of a price discrepancy. But I mean, they're damn right head to head as far as results go. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, really. Like, that's all of them. I don't know if there's a clear, defined winner. As far as price goes, I would probably, and price to performance ratio, at least with this initial one, it's pretty head to head with Pour 15 and R4. Pour 15 being less expensive. But but that's not a clear determining factor, or at least the end all determining factor of value. Like I discussed this before, do these products each do this dollar amount worth of work? There are some clear, I don't know, like it depends on how you view value. Like there's some clear middle of the road versions, Rust 911. I do like that they mail it in a concentrate. If you have to order it shipping wise, that makes sense. PB Blaster and Evaporust are almost identical in, well, I mean, they have the identical packaging. They send it in the gallon. I have heard that there are concentrate versions that are sent out, but they're very, it depends on, like Evaporust used to have a concentrated version. I don't know that CRC does. They would send that to accounts that they sponsor, but their reasoning, which I understand, behind it not making that available to the public is that they get a lot of negative feedback from people. I've had defective product before from them and from Evaporust, and I've gotten a hold of them and they were really kind. But they did go through a bunch of questions, making sure that I was using it properly and in the right temperatures and stuff. So I think the reason being is quality control. If you send out a concentrate and somebody doesn't follow the directions to a T, then the public has a tendency to unjustifiably complain, and when it's really an end user issue. So that's about it. Like I said, R4 and Pour 15 are about tied. R4 being $50, Pour 15 being $35 for a gallon. PB Blaster, Evaporust, and 911 are about the same, but they don't work as quickly. Honestly, I'm just gonna out and out say it. I think the PB Blaster being available at big box home improvement stores, probably a good move for them if you really need it. But Evaporust is available at like O'Reilly, Harbor Freight, and Tractor Supply. I mean, I've only ever seen it actually in stock at Tractor Supply one time. So, but you can get all of them from their respective websites or the big online ordering stores. So anyway, let's see. Again, that's them. That's me. And, you can be the judge. I don't know. Personally, I'd go with R4 Pour 15 for high performance. The rest of them are more candidates of convenience. Give or take all the way around. I did this so you wouldn't have to. I think that if I had to add this up, what's like almost $200 worth of stuff of just the soaks by themselves. It's a lot of money. And I bought buckets and stuff too, but whatever. Those are consumables at this point. Anyway, that's it on this section. The next one I do will be about longevity. I'm going to use these same samples in the same containers. I'm going to keep throwing stuff in there for days on end, and maybe based on weight or just volume, and see how long it keeps removing rust. And we'll talk about the results when that's done. Okay, hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, you can do that in the questions and comments section. I am going to get back to some of the tool restorations and toolbox unboxings on my channel. I still have a few things coming up that are kind of off kilter, one-off projects, and we'll see how those go. Yeah. Keep scrounging, keep finding stuff, keep it out of the landfill. Hopefully all of this makes you happy, makes me happy. And now I'm just getting long-winded. So see you all next time, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.